This is a Sydney Watson video. I watch a lot of Sydney Watson videos because they're usually fairly enjoyable. Also, she makes amazing faces sometimes. So yeah, I'll jump into this one last video and then I will end stream. But yeah, let's jump into this. The most unhinged debate I've seen in a while by Sydney Watson. Let's get into it. Whoop.
Wow, okay, we're gonna take this chair. Look at that.
Hey, Ben.
Like a bro, my friend. All right.
How's it going?
Let's break open
first
beer or
question,
something.
can
Okay.
men get pregnant?
Men cannot get
Men cannot get pregnant. Sorry to break it to you.
pregnant.
Yep, this is going to go exactly how you think it's going to go. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Fume. And also, just a couple quick things from me. In some very exciting news, I have finally put together and designed some Hell Gondola merch, so that's what this little guy is. Look how cute he is. These shirts are embroidered, so I did that with the hope of them lasting quite a long time, and they also come with text on the Jubilee. Have been doing this fun series where they put a right-winger, or the conservative of some description, in a circle of liberals and let them debate. I am air quoting debate because if you guys have watched one of these videos, you know that that's not what this is, like, at all. And they
this isn't really debating, so pretty much how this usually goes is the Republican in the middle, the conservative in the middle is usually debating, and the liberal is losing their shit, start screaming, and consider that a W. That's usually how these go.
usually devolve into the human embodiment of a rectal exam. It's not great. Now, at this point, I'm sure many of you have come into contact with the clips from the latest episode in the series that involved our friend Ben Shapiro, also known on this channel as Benny Shap.
Really fantastic.
Benny Shap? What the fuck? Also, our friend, I don't know, is he?
Benny Boy was sat in the middle of 25 self-professed Kamala supporters, and it went about how you'd expect.
Pleasure to meet you. I've got a vagina.
Yes, but like, why do you hold that definition? Like, would you not like assume like something like a C-section would be considered an abortion?
What does this even mean? These people really freak me out when they
I did not comprehend a word. I did not comprehend a single fucking word.
comment, because they're the same people who insist that men can be women.
We made this one up.
Now, I watched this entire video, all 1 hour and 40 minutes of it, Julie, because I hate myself, and also because I wanted to weigh in on a couple of the interactions.
I've got a vagina.
Having done enough of these discussions and debates myself on Vice, Jubilee, Dr. Phil, etc., I always come away from these videos with the same perception, that meaningful conversation and true debate are dead, and most left.
Oh god, this is gonna be one of those. Yes, the people with no experience are always with the best advice, usually. Damn, merch is always the same. Please, anything but shirts. Yeah, she also has tea. She also does tea. She has her own tea company, so it can't be that bad.
Leftists on these episodes are certifiably unwell.
You're literally a white woman from Australia. You live in a bubble and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard.
Huh. I wonder how Jingle Jangles is doing.
Of course, it's frustrating.
Oh, what are you? The main villain? Final boss? What the hell?
Anyway, this particular Jubilee video confirms my existing perspective all over again. I mean, really, if these 25 people are the best that the left has to offer, we will in fact be living in communes before we know it. I'm the first guy to even speak to Ben, gets in the chair, then makes a statement about how everyone is standing on stolen land, then proceeds to just talk and say very little while Benny Shap looks at him like,
"We do not fully understand what causes Alzheimer's disease."
So yeah, first.
What is that? What the fuck is that? What is this hat? Take care. Jesus.
First of all, we're standing on stolen indigenous Tongva land, right? This is
Are you moving anytime
indigenous
soon?
land?
Dude, no.
I say this with all sincerity, but most of the participants here look like they're on the verge of an actual mental breakdown. But you want to know what won't cause you to have an actual mental breakdown? The sponsor of today's video, Fume. Let me tell you, there are many questionable ways of stopping your bad habit. There are apparent and
Second ad, Sydney! The first and the second! What the hell? I hope there's not a third one.
very obvious very quickly in this situation too is that the majority of participants don't seem particularly interested in having a meaningful conversation at all. They want to take the opportunity to pontificate, or they want to simply scream at a conservative.
No, the yelling is the key. What don't you understand about what I'm saying to you? Yelling is the key.
It's like, what
Yeah, yelling is the key. They yell and then they think they win. I sound mad, I'm not. Oh, what are you talking about? Okay, anything after one ad is too much. Yeah. I mean, she needs that money. Probably. I don't know.
a collective unfolding of daddy issues. They can't scream at their dad during Thanksgiving, so they'd scream at Ben Shapiro instead. It's like one big unintentional trauma dump.
All of us are struggling, and you want to focus on trans people.
You've been going
white
for...
supremacy just fall apart the way that it is.
I also think it's worth noting, and this will surprise none of you, but angry outbursts and aggression during this debate was applauded by everyone else. And seemingly, the handful of people who were respectful got turfed extremely early on, essentially giving the unhinged participants the most amount of time. Oh yeah, actually something else.
Oh, so probably deleted it because you threw in like all caps. That is not my style of videos that I usually watch, which is why I'm probably not going to watch it. Also, after this one, I'll end stream because this is already like, yeah. If a person uses aggression for disagreement, the other person will not want to hear the other person out. Obviously, makes sense, right? If you want to have a debate, it needs to be civil. If it's not civil, well, there's realistically no point. Because, like, if you're not civil, I'm not going to be civil.
This episode works by letting the 25 Kamala people vote speakers out of the debate chair. So if someone was talking and then a bunch of people raise these red flags that they have, and then the majority of them raise their red flags, well, that person then gets, voted out, basically. They get to have their little communist moment, I guess. So after watching this whole thing, I basically have arrived at the conclusion that basically all political discussion is reduced down to these stupid, super clippable, viral moments that apparently demonstrate that someone wins and someone loses. Which would explain some of the participants doing victory laps online, saying that they beat Ben Shapiro.
Bro did not beat Ben Shapiro. Bro literally just, like, did not let him talk whatsoever. Not even a little bit.
Which is just, there's no way that Ben Shapiro, who does this for a living, is losing to people who look like this. Okay? This is probably what starts happening to your appearance when you start believing that microaggressions are a real thing, and probably start injecting heroin. I don't know.
Yeah, thumbs up is a microaggression. or just like okay. Just like an O and a K. Also, seems is a microaggression.
This dork, and dork, just by the way, is a completely underrated insult. I love this word. Anyway, there's this dork called Guy who tweeted that Ben Shapiro got flustered when I matched his energy and pushed back on everything. This is his version of Ben Shapiro looking flustered.
For immigration.
So you're saying Border Patrol is failing then to screen these people properly? Is that the accusation you're making?
I'm making the case that Border Patrol certainly is failing.
How do you know
because
that? Because you talked to a couple Border...
How dare you, Raven? How dare you? You're cancelled. I'm canceling you on Twitter. Also, when I looked through my follower list, I saw what you had in your bio. How dare you? How dare you calling me that? Women.
Border Patrol agents? You know,
No,
that is so
because
insulting to our Border Patrol who's fighting every day on the front lines. You think they're not screening these people and they're being bamboozled by some people's claiming asylum?
Look at him winning! He's winning so much he doesn't even let Ben talk. Great.
And tricking them?
No, because literally today, the FBI announced that an Afghan national was let in without vetting and tried to plan a terrorist attack on
one guy!
It'll be great.
My guy, you're just interrupting him a bunch and being really rude. How is this a win? This conversation and section of the video actually goes on for quite a while compared to some of the other people who were debating Ben, but the one thing that I will say about this interaction is that it was very clear that our friend Guy had zero interest.
Oh yeah, and what were you testing? What were you testing?
In actually having any sort of meaningful conversation with Ben Shapiro, and he spent the entire time being very sarcastic, very smug, and very, very, very unpleasant to watch. And I really don't want you guys to get me wrong here when I'm saying these things, because I'm not making these comments about these people to be horrible to them or to, you know, pick apart what they're saying just for the sake of it. If they were making good points and they were making logical points and they were behaving appropriately in this context, I would give credit where credit is due. You guys hopefully know that about me by now. But that's just not what's happening here. These people seem...
It's just not happening at all. This is just... All of these are just like... Not even debates. It's just like... Who lets the person not talk?
I'm so interested in just doing and saying things that are antagonistic enough to get a reaction so they can clip these moments and
Your account is private. There's nothing to stalk.
Post them on social media. And honestly, I get it because I too am a social media person, but this is not how you establish having a meaningful, decent exchange of ideas. Because realistically, and I guess that we all should have probably noticed this, or maybe I should have noticed this from the outset, these people being Kamala supporters mean that they're progressive. They're not just liberal, they're not just center-left, they are progressive. So there's very little that Ben Shapiro is going to have in common with them. And this guy called Guy, he makes me want to use a slur. This other dork called Dean...
I mean... Fuck it, just use the slur. Just use the slur.
Said, I demolished Ben Shapiro on abortion in Jubilee's new video. They edited it out of the final production. I'm a little sad.
Right now they have jobs commensurate with their education. It's called sitting out on the street doing nothing with your life because you're a bunch of liberal arts morons. You got a degree in queer dance theory.
We don't really have time here to get into Dean and...
A degree in queer dance theory? That's interesting. You know what's a really useless degree? What I'm gonna say straight up, what's a really useless degree? An arts degree. Really fucking useless.
His wonderful contributions to the world of online commentary, but I thought instead we can look at how many times he used the word modality.
A modality of DEI? This is another modality of DEI here in this certain modality.
Lastly, you have a bunch of people suggesting that this girl gagged Ben Shapiro.
It's just not my thing. I mean, I think there's a reason why many of these women will die single and alone.
There's an additional little observation I want to make here, and this girl, I think, does a great job exhibiting this. These people typically will use a lot of big words that they just stack together one on top of the other to form.
They just form a big word salad, so like you first of all have to like uncover all of this and untangle all of this to like even make sense of it. It's just like it's like a tactic where you just like talk to a lot of people, like you talk fast, you throw in a lot of words and like complicated words. So first of all, you have to keep up with the pace. Second of all, you need to untangle everything, and third of all, they're usually also very aggressive about it. I think the more useless degree would be gender studies. Yeah, a gender studies degree obviously would be absolutely useless. But like from like the good, like the quote unquote useful art degrees, art degree is one of the most useless.
Form a sentence, but that sentence doesn't actually say anything. This is another really annoying trend that takes place during these discussions, and typically it's that people will try to use big and fancy sounding words to make their point, thinking that it makes them sound smarter, but in actuality, it just turns into a word salad. On a serious note, one of the biggest things that I'm going to say about communication is that it is perfectly fine to use reasonable, common sounding words to make your point. It doesn't diminish your point, it actually just means that you're probably going to be better understood. It is perfectly fine to communicate using regular, everyday, normal language. Not this try-hard academic flim-flam.
We don't have to do it systematically, but fundamentally there is an issue with the fact that...
Not gonna lie, I wish some of these people would flim-flam themselves into the sun. But perhaps one of the worst moments
This is the worst one, okay? Prepare. This is the worst one. Prepare yourself. This is the worst one. I've seen the clips of this one specifically. This is the worst one.
This debate happened between this trans-identified individual and Benny Schaap. This person, who is female, transitioned to a male, and took this opportunity to speak for several minutes uninterrupted, and this is something, really, that is very interesting to behold. I was also led to believe that this position is quite hard for men to sit in, on account of the, testicles.
Yeah. It's doable, but I think it's yeah. I think you can do it, pull it off as a man, but it'd be rather uncomfortable. I still think Jaden used the Mr. Beast money wastefully. Yeah, she did, because she used it on art degrees. I wish the guy who would have used it for schools would have won it, actually. Also, I don't really like Jaden because she's disrespectful to Christians and only apologized after getting her ass beat on Twitter.
This person starts off by asking Ben a series of yes, no, but confusing and unrelated questions. So I'm going to let some of this interaction play uninterrupted so that you guys can get a feel for precisely what he was dealing with and what I'm judging incredibly hard. Hello, it is Editing Sydney from the future here with a little bit of bad news. I did, in fact, intend to show you this clip in its entirety, or at least as much as I could, but unfortunately the 2 times that I have uploaded it to YouTube, it has gotten copyright claimed by Jubilee, I suppose because this is the part that most people are interested in. Whatever, I have applied my little tricks and whatnot to it to try to not have it flag in the system, but it keeps doing it. So instead, what I recommend you guys do is go and watch the original video, which I will link in the description box for you. I'll see if I can get any additional little bits and pieces in here from this, but it's not looking very good. So just wanted to let you guys know, sorry past Sydney, we tried and we failed. Now, due to the fact—
Damn it, is it in the description? How big is it? It's just a small part. It's the whole Jubilee. Nah, I'm not looking at the whole Jubilee video.
fact that Jubilee keep copyright claiming this no matter how many times I upload it to YouTube, I'm just going to tell you what's going on. So at first, this individual, whose name is Shane, asks if men can get pregnant. Ben says no. Then Shane asks Ben if men experience sexual assault. Again, he says yes. Then—
Yeah, men can get pregnant. Men can experience sexual assault. Yeah, I would agree on that.
Shane asks, what about the existence of trans men, as basically a statement? Ben is confused because there's absolutely no real question here. Then this person asks Ben if he benefits from white supremacy, before launching into a long rant about being a trans-identified individual. Benny Schaap seemed to quickly realize that all this person really wanted to do was shout at him. In the next segment, I wanted to show you—
You know, transitioning to a man and still arguing like a woman is one of the comments I read, and it might be actually quite accurate.
Shane criticizes Ben for jumping across subjects and speaking so fast. Shane says, "I know how you work, so how does it feel to have it in your face?" The audience claps and Shane starts again, saying, "I'm sick and tired of the crap you put against my community." Shane then references how Ben uses trans people as a pawn but doesn't actually care about them, before shouting, "Why not focus on the economy?" The rest of this gets really unhinged, so I recommend watching it for yourselves.
It's like, you argue that Republicans use you as a scapegoat, but then at the same time, Democrats use you as voter bait. Like, that's all they care about at the same time, that you vote for them, nothing else matters. So they don't care about you either, but you're ignoring that fact.
Because this is really, really a wild ride. Now, I like to think that I'm a reasonably intelligent individual, at least like, you know, maybe like a lukewarm 7, 8 for intelligence. But this person made not a single coherent thought out of the many words that were articulated.
So pretty much like everything you said was so dumb that everyone in this room right now just got even dumber.
And honestly, jokes aside, I actually find it really gross and unprofessional how nobody from Jubilee's team stepped in earlier to basically say, yo, this is not okay. Like, keep it civil or get out of the chair. But with that said, the genuinely hilarious thing here is that a bunch of left-wing writers and outlets apparently watched this clip, and their takeaway was to do a victory lap. Again, running headlines like, "How Ben Shapiro was silenced by Harris-supporting trans man." Right-wing pundit Ben Shapiro eviscerated by trans man's questions on surrounded debate show. What is wrong with you, dude? Ben Shapiro gets utterly destroyed trying to debate Kamala Harris voters. Sorry, did I miss the getting destroyed part? Where is it? Did I miss it? I think anyone with a functioning brain, regardless if they lean more to the left or to the right, would not watch really any moment from this episode and think, yes, that's a win. I think what's being demonstrated instead is that this is a group of people who are quite mentally unwell.
They are a group of people that got fed the propaganda for so long that, like, they can see... what's the wording? They can see the forest because of all the trees, pretty much, like along that lines. I don't know how it translates to English. But, yeah, they're just, like, feeding on this, and, like, they're never gonna stop. You will not be able to undo this in this generation, the next one, or the next one.
And don't know how to regulate their own emotions. And they expect us to take their views and opinions on board in a meaningful way when they're communicating them through smugness, sarcasm, and just outright aggression and disrespect. Regardless if you love or hate Ben Shapiro, he sat opposite every person that debated him and treated them with respect and decency. The thing is, I actually believe we need to get back to having conversations, but the sort that are open and honest, where both parties are actually coming to the table willing to exchange ideas, not willing to do whatever this is.
Pleasure to meet you.
And to reiterate an earlier point, I know that these videos are entertaining because of the conflict and disagreements, but
there's a difference between, like, disagreements and flat out disrespect, and a lot of this in this episode was just disrespect. I think there's a problem on, like, both sides. There's a problem on both sides where there's a group of people that do not want to talk with the other side. However, you do need discourse to, like, create a functional government. That's just how it is. And I see the Republican side being more ready to do so than the Democrats. But that's just my feeling.
These debates, as they so often are called, have exclusively turned into fodder for traffic-hungry producers.
Ah, yes, respect, such a rare thing, truly.
producers and participants looking for viral clips and moments, and none of this is conducive to an honest conversation. So
also, can I just say, let me go back, can I just say that you either had the option to be a woman, or you did it like this guy and transitioned to like a Walmart version of John Tron. I don't know. This person just like transitioned from a fat white chick to a fat white guy. It's just interesting to see.
Clips and moments, and none of this is conducive to an honest conversation.
And then he also behaved like some wannabe man. Like his entire behavior was like the caricature of what a man should act like. It is really weird and it's really off-putting.
So ultimately, while these videos are in fact frustratingly entertaining to watch, they really don't fill me with any degree of confidence. But if you want to watch them for the sheer purpose of having a laugh, I definitely think that you should do that. And in the end, I definitely think Benny Schaap took one for the team by participating in this, and maybe next time Jubilee will take the time to include a couple more saner people. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Fume using the link in the description.
Sydney! This is the fourth ad!
When you buy a journey pack. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Have you actually watched the episode of Ben?
I only saw clips. I didn't see any, like, I didn't see the full episode, and thank God I didn't. I wouldn't want to look like a man. I'm good. Not in that way. I mean, trans. Like, just like I wouldn't want to look like a trans woman. Because usually it doesn't, like, not even close to, like, looking like a woman. Not even close sometimes. Oftentimes. Also, again, I don't think a man can be a woman can be a man. I don't believe that. Now, you can do it. You can do whatever you want. I won't stop you. I won't criticize you. But that's just my belief. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun to see how unhinged this really got. Because some of the things I didn't see.